Hello there and welcome to the Holiday and Cruise Clinic, the programme which, over the next 30 minutes, aims to answer all your holiday and cruise related questions. Well, today we're going to be discussing the changing market of cruise holidays. But first, if you have a question for one of our travel experts, here's how to get in touch. Our website is www.holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk. Click on Programmes, select the clinic page and submit your question to us online through the website. If you want to email us directly, you can do. It's clinic@holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk, or you can write to us by post as well. The Holiday and Cruise Channel, Cavendish House, Brighton Road, Liverpool, L22 5NG. Now, a recent survey has revealed that the fastest growing sector in the world is the cruise industry. A whopping 1.62 million cruises were taken last year by us Brits, and it's a figure that has more than doubled in the last 10 years. But how has the cruise market adapted to the growing and, more importantly, demanding changes of us holidaymakers? Well, here to explain is Nikki Tempest-Mitchell from Royal Caribbean International. Nikki, welcome along.
Thank you.
Now, how did you get to where you are now? You've obviously had an interest in the travel industry for a while.
I have. I actually started in the industry when I was 16 years old and worked in a travel agency selling cruises, holidays to customers. I actually got the cruise bug as such about 10 years into my career, where I got my first experience of going on a cruise ship. And from then, really, I knew that was the career I wanted. So I joined Royal Caribbean 4 years ago and have a fantastic job. I really am very, very fortunate. I get the opportunity of experiencing the product and absolutely love, obviously, recommending our ships to many customers.
Okay, and go on, make us all a bit sick. Tell us where some of the countries you've been to are.
My favourite, I have to say, is Europe. I've just recently come off one of our ships a few weeks ago. You can't really tell. I don't tend to go brown that easy. But European itineraries are really great because it's not that far to go when you're travelling with a family. But the most exotic places has to be, I suppose, the Caribbean.
Now, 10 years ago, did you have any preconceptions about cruising that you've maybe thought of were not right?
Yes, many, many. Of which I was actually quite surprised how many of them on my first cruise I was able to eliminate. And they really are. There's many of them that are misconceptions.
Give us a few.
My biggest fear was me fitting in with the customers on board. I had this, imagination that it was full of, really old people who go to bed at 8 o'clock at night, and that really was one of the things that blew me away. It really blew me away and completely dispelled that misconception. Another one is actually not enough to do. I was expecting to go on board and be relatively bored, but again, that's soon. Within the first few hours, I realised that was definitely a misconception.
Sure, that's why you haven't got a tan, because you were inside. I'm not quite sure whether you were at the bar most of the time, but you were doing all the activities.
Have you met me before?
And your first cruise, was that in a professional capacity then, or was it as a holidaymaker?
Yeah, no, it was a professional capacity, and it was work related. But I did get the opportunity of having some downtime to experience the facilities on board.
So, as we said at the beginning of the programme, amazing changes in the cruise industry.
Massive, yes. Yeah.
How has it changed, the market changed then now? Do you think more people have become aware of how good a cruise holiday can be?
Yeah, I think you've absolutely hit the nail on the head. People have become more aware. I think word of mouth has been phenomenal, and that's been one of our key successes, really, that once people get on board the cruise ships, they love it. So the loyalty we find with sort of first-time cruisers is fantastic. But the industry is completely evolved. The ships that are now in the market offer something for absolutely everybody, and I think that's what the cruise lines have done exceptionally well over the years, where they've listened to the guest feedback and they keep breaking the boundaries and bringing some new innovations to drive more people onto it.
I presume your company, like most in the cruising industry, will have a target in mind of people they want to encourage, people who are new to cruising, to take part in a cruise. And 1.62 million, how many do you think we can grow that by?
I think, who'd have thought that 10 years ago, we'd have doubled the business overall as a market. So we see the sector significantly growing, over the next few years. I think the latest PSA figures have been the next 5 years set to grow even further over to...
PSA is?
Passenger Shipping Association.
Okay.
So I believe the last set of figures is over 2 million passengers. So, the cruise market is set to grow. Where the package holiday market has actually declined. So, it really is a great success. And I'll talk in a while about why I believe that's the case. But, it's a great record.
Okay, so you on your first cruise 10 years ago dispelled those myths,
Yes.
one of them being cruises are for the older generation.
Yes.
How have cruises then become more family friendly?
We've listened. We've listened to the feedback. We've listened to what some of the, land-based hotels have actually done exceptionally well. And we've developed a model that absolutely breaks boundaries. Who'd have thought that you can actually surf on one of the Royal Caribbean ships, rock climb in the middle of the ocean? So we've really brought some new innovations that absolutely attract the family market.
Do you have a team of people who go out looking for new ideas then? Is that how it works?
We do. We have a team of people based in Miami. I'd like to say I'm the brains behind it, but the reality is it's nothing to do with us. We sell the product, but we have a phenomenal team in Miami who obviously work, very closely with the ship side and develop new innovations.
Can you tell us about any new ones that we've maybe not come across
I'm
yet?
afraid I can't today. I can tell you why we're good at the moment, but no, nothing future.
So we're a little bit more family friendly in cruising now then. Can you give us some of the idea of the key features that families can enjoy now as opposed to being on a package holiday?
Yeah, I think for me the biggest observation was the variety, the choice that is available for children and for adults. But one of the key things for me is the children's clubs. We have 5 different children's clubs on board. We really home in on the different age groups. So a 3-year-old doesn't want to be with a 10-year-old. So we have all the different levels of children's clubs and entertainment. And that's complimentary. That runs from 9 in the morning till 10 at night. And, there's such a lot to choose from throughout the day. We've got lots of sporting on board. Like I mentioned, on some of our ships, we have the flow riding, the rock climbing wall, the mini golf, ice skating. Who'd have imagined you can actually ice skate? You can learn to ice skate or be entertained by a show. So the variety, the choice, the children are not bored. One of our biggest complaints, the adults just don't see their children enough. And that's, that is one of our biggest, because once they go into the children's clubs, they absolutely love it. And that's all included in the price. So you don't have to pay anything extra for those facilities.
So that means mum and dad can go on the flow ride while children are being looked after in a safe environment then? Completely.
And I think the ships are designed for adults and children in mind. So a great way I explain it, my husband's very much into sporting, so he loves the back of the ship. My daughter loves the swimming pool, so we have this amazing, what we call on some of our ships, H2O, which is basically a water-themed area with shooting water cannons and, like a wave pool, and she absolutely loves that part. And I love being pampered and relaxation, so I tend to be at the front of the ship. So there's something for absolutely everybody.
So is that a key feature of the type of ships that you operate, that back bit for sport, front bit for pampering?
We do actually design our ships that way, yes. So you'll find the gym, the spa, and we also have an adults-only solarium on most of our ships where basically you can just relax and have complete tranquility. So yeah, the design of our ships, is based on that model.
Okay, fantastic. Well, it's interesting to see that families are being more well looked after these days, and of course that gives you the chance to relax a little bit more yourself, not having to worry about where little kiddies are. And from a personal point of view, because obviously you hinted there that you have had a family holiday and enjoyed it very much.
Yes, completely. I think this, for us, this is the most perfect holiday where mum, dad and little girl is absolutely enjoying every element of it. And what we like about it is, the dining on board. You can actually dine 24 hours a day, should you wish to. We have complimentary room service. We also have family My Time dining. So this is the part I really love, where you can actually dine together as a family. The child has what we call an express dinner. And then if they want to, they can then go to the children's club to be entertained while mum and dad still continue dining in peace. So we've really adapted the programme to really be in tune with what all of the family want, not just the children.
All right, Nikki, stay there because I want to talk more about the value of cruise holidays compared to package, for example.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll take a quick break right now and hear more from Nikki in part 2 of today's clinic. But if you're new to cruising, we have already whetted your appetite, then our first time guide to cruise holidays, here it is here just for you. It's a free copy. Just give us a call on 0871 423 4444. Calls will cost 10p a minute from a BT landline, and calls from other networks and mobiles may vary. Time for us to take a quick break right now, but do stay with us. We'll be back with Nikki and more cruising tales in a few minutes' time. Welcome back to today's Holiday and Cruise Clinic. This is the programme where we tackle your questions and dilemmas on the various aspects of holidays and cruising. Remember, this is your programme and we'd love to hear from you. Our website is www.holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk. Click on Programmes, select the clinic page and submit your question to us online through the website. You can also email us directly, clinic@holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk, or by post to the Holiday and Cruise Channel, Cavendish House, Brighton Road, Liverpool, L22 5NG. Well, Nikki Tempest-Mitchell from Royal Caribbean International is still with me. And Nikki, we're discussing a little bit about cruising and the way it's developed and the amount of cruise holidays that are available for people. Paying for it is one particular thing I think we must discuss. So how do the prices for a cruise holiday, for example, compare to that of a package one?
Yeah, I think what I would encourage anybody to do who's interested in booking a cruise is to really look at what's included, because the value for money on a cruising versus a land base is far more superior. Again, I think, have a look at everything down to entertainment, down to the food on board, down to the facilities on board. I think everything, clearly will have a price to it. But when you look at, going on a land-based holiday, I think my last land-based holiday was Mallorca a few years ago. And we did self-catering. And when we looked at the cost of the package, it initially seemed quite a realistic price package. But then you had to buy absolutely everything. And even when it came to the children's clubs are only generally on a land base for a couple of hours in a day. And in the evening time, you tend to have like a mini disco. Where on a cruise ship, you can actually have entertainment for children from 9 in the morning till 10 at night. And depends on the age of the children. We have the 5 different children's clubs. But we also have teenagers clubs, and teenagers don't want to be part of a club. They want to be part of the cool gang, as we call it. And even that's included till the early hours of the morning, where we'll do different entertainment programs for teenagers. So when you look at that, having your child entertained all day by professional people, it really is fantastic value for money. We also, from a dining point of view, we did self-catering, and we all know, obviously, the euro rate and the pressure that puts on people spending money. We noticed a significant change in prices in resorts, and, we were struggling to get a good family meal for less than £100 in the evening time. So we do find on a cruise ship, we take it for granted, but you could dine 24 hours a day complimentary. We even have room service, for about 19 hours in a day, you could order room service complimentary. And even things like the buffet restaurant, we have pizzerias on board some of our ships, 2 coffee shops. All the food within those places are actually included in the price. So if you imagine being on the top deck and sunbathing, we have ice cream machines. So children can just go and help themselves to an ice cream, where when you're on a land-based holiday, those coffees, those cakes, those ice creams are all extra. So they soon do really, really add up.
I'd be in serious trouble if there was an ice cream machine permanently on display next to me. I'd have to go and sit a long way from it.
You can make the most of it, but that's why we have a gym on board.
Good point.
The idea is to exercise, so you don't roll off the ship. But,
yes, quite. And what you were saying about having the self-catering element to your recent holiday means that there is a little bit of cooking involved, because it is self-catering, so you often have to get up and make breakfast. So mum doesn't have to do that for the kids or anything.
Absolutely. It's completely taken care of. The service on board. You know, you have service all the time wherever you are on board the ship. And the ratio is about, you know, for every guest is like, you know, so for every 3 guests is 1 staff member. In your staterooms, you know, your rooms are cleaned for you twice daily. You have a turn down service in the evening time. So you really are truly looked after on board. But the one part I haven't mentioned is the whole entertainment. The entertainment, you know, on our ships is phenomenal. We have a theatre where we'll do West End musicals to comedians, to singers, to cabarets. We also do ice skating shows on some of our ships where they've got the ice skating rink. We will also do, you know, pool parties. So there is just something going on all of the time. So no matter what you like in life, we will cater for it on board a ship.
Absolutely. Well, that sounds great, but there's always going to be somebody who says, I quite like a quiet holiday,
Yes.
where I want
Yes.
to be away, I want to do some reading, I'm going to take a load of books with me, and I
Yeah.
just want to chill out.
Yeah.
You don't always have to be involved in activities, do you?
You don't. And to be honest, for me personally, I'm one of these people, I completely like to chill out. And that sounds a bit crazy having a 6-year-old daughter. But I love nothing more than just sitting there relaxing, reading a book. We have, as I say, relaxation areas. And we have a lot of bars on board our ships, which are relaxing. We have a beautiful like champagne bar on all of our ships where you can just completely relax. We also have nice lounges that don't have, you know, they might have a pianist on in the evening time. So you can escape from it on all of our ships. So, you know, I also work with the Celebrity Cruise brand as well, and Celebrity is absolutely about relaxation. So it, you know, those ships absolutely force you to relax. So my key really here is just ensuring that you absolutely book the right ship for what you're looking for, because there's such a choice. Between our brands, we have 35 ships. And everything is slightly different, so really just select well.
Is your champagne bar the one where they build the pyramid of glasses and you get to pour champagne in the top?
We do that, yeah. There is ships that they do that on, and that's quite popular at times on our captain's dinner, where they do that.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, putting your hat on, your professional hat,
Yes.
with all the experience in the travel industry that you've had over the years, is this changing our attitude towards our big major holiday now each year? Are we moving away from the package holiday, do you think, a little bit now?
I think so, and I think people are starting to buy wisely. I think, you know, many years ago, people used to be buying holidays based on the price they could get on the holiday. Now, a lot of people are actually considering how much am I going to be spending while I'm actually away. And they're sort of adding that together. And that's why cruising is becoming great value for money, because people are appreciating just actually what's included. So, you know, don't get sort of drawn into you've got a cheap self-catering holiday. Really look at what you get on cruises and really weigh up the value. And I think that's why cruising is starting to go from strength to strength. Because, you know, one of the package holidays that is growing is all-inclusive.
Yes.
And, you know, that's obviously quite similar to cruising, I suppose, that there's a lot more included within the price, and, you know, people are now getting really switched on to that.
With cruising, though, there's a different place outside your window each day, isn't there?
Oh, it's amazing, yes. You can go on a 7-night cruise and, you know, you could be in 5 different destinations. So, and, you know, that's all included in the price. So it's great.
Talk about destinations for a little bit then. What are the popular destinations with us Brits at the moment, as we're obviously taking more cruise holidays? Where are we going?
Europe. Yeah, Europe is our biggest growing market, without a doubt. Ex-UK cruising is very, very popular. So 2 different things, but you can do ex-UK obviously around Europe.
Is that what it's called in the trade then?
Ex-UK,
yes.
yes.
Is when you go to Florida or something and cruise
So
from
no,
there?
ex-UK is where you sail from the UK ports. So you
I'm
could
with
go
you.
from
Right, other way round.
Southampton,
Yeah.
you could go from Harwich, which is one of the ports we use. But sailing from Southampton has never become, you know, it's so easy these days.
Sure.
You drive up to the port, you know, you're met by somebody who takes your cases, and you don't see your cases then until you get on board. But for the ladies, we don't pack lightly generally. So one of the things I love about sailing from Southampton, I don't normally have the issues about how many pairs of shoes or handbags one can take. So, but Southampton cruising is becoming extremely popular, and also, you know, flying on a short flight to the Mediterranean. And that's where we're seeing our significant growth.
I think from a security point of view, you know, from my experience of airports where you can be frisked
Yes.
take half your clothes off, spend a bit of time going through security. At the cruise, departure point, it's a little different, isn't it?
Yeah, I think what we try and do is your holiday starts as soon as you get to the terminal. So we try and make it as pleasurable as we can. Clearly, we have the same level of security checks as what the airport would have. But it doesn't feel like a stressful experience. I think my recent experiences of flying from an airport, you almost feel very stressed until you actually get to your point. Where a cruising, we really have got it right, and the check-in process is seamless. And generally, you could be within arriving at the port, you could be on the ship within 15-20 minutes. So it's a great experience.
So ex-UK, we're on our ex-UK cruise then. Whereabouts can we go from this country?
So you can sail from Southampton, and you can go around Mediterranean ports like Barcelona, Ibiza. Italian ports are getting very, very popular, so Sicily, Rome, Naples. You can also do, Canaries. So one of the biggest cruises we have and most popular cruises in the winter is around the Canary Islands to sail away to get to good weather. So a real abundance, and you can have anything from, if it's the first time you've cruised, anything from 4 nights up to a 16-night cruise. So there's lots of variety. So
would your advice, with your professional hat on again,
Yep.
be go on a little taster cruise first and see what it's like before you get the full week or fortnight?
If I was putting my business hat on, I would say go for the 14 nights. But no, seriously, if you really are not convinced cruising is for you, then that's a more cost-effective way of trying it. One of the things that a short cruise doesn't probably give you the experience of is the ports, because you'll tend to just do one stop on a 4-night cruise, but it will give you a good feel for what to expect on a short cruise. And obviously you can then imagine what it would like be holidaying on here for 14 nights.
And you can get to know the ship as well, can't you? Because a lot of people who do cruise regularly like to go on a particular ship because they know the people, the crew, and the general atmosphere.
Yes, yeah. One of the things we're very proud of is the retention of customers. Once they've cruised with us, the loyalty is significant. So one of the key reasons for that is the staff on board. The service they provide is phenomenal, and people love getting to know people. Yeah. So, and many a times I go back on a ship and they'll say, "Hi, how are you doing? And how's Lydia?" And so it's really, really phenomenal service that we get, and that's why loyalty is as strong as it is on cruising.
Brilliant. Nikki, thank you very much indeed for telling us about the wonderful world of cruising. I'm going to tell you now about this. It's not something you need, but if you do want a copy of our new guide to cruising, then you can request a free copy of first-time holidays, anything like that. Loads of questions in here, loads of answers to questions as well. Just give us a call on 0871 423 4444. Calls will cost you 10p a minute from a BT landline, but calls from other networks and mobiles may vary. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of today's clinic. Remember, do get in touch with your holiday and cruise travel related questions. We really would love to hear from you. But for now, from myself and all the team here, goodbye.